Greetings and welcome to Adaptive Yoga Moves Anybody Chair Class. Before we begin, I just want to mention a little bit about props that you might want to have by your side. First of all, you might want a chair or possibly two. Not required, we definitely need one. It can be a simple chair that helps you to sit nice and tall. Also, you may want a yoga strap or an old men's tie that you're not using anymore, or a soft belt around the house, perhaps to a robe, or even a scarf works. You may wish to have yoga blocks that look like this, or you could have soft cover books about this size. Some people use a purple exercise ball like that one to the side there. That can work as well. So beginning, we want to make sure that we have a nice, alert, tall spine in our seat, feeling our feet on the earth, feeling our sit bones on the chair. Now, some people's feet don't reach the earth, and if they don't, you can stick blocks underneath your feet. Ideally, we want our knees level with our thighs. I'm going to take these away because they're too tall for my thighs now with these blocks. So we want to find a nice position where we feel our sit bones on the chair evenly. And first and foremost, we're going to focus on breathing. We take over 20,000 breaths a day. That's the average person. What could be more important than breathing? Perhaps it's even more important than our food. So let's start with a nice, soft, relaxed breath. You may even wish to close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, notice how you're breathing without judgment, without wondering whether this is good or bad. And allow the breath to flow freely in through your nose and out through your nose. We're not trying to control it. We're either focusing on the air coming in through the nostrils, leaving the nostrils, or perhaps the wave of the belly. You might say that we start with a beginner's mind, curious about the quality of the breath, the length of the breath, where we feel the breath in our body, the sensation of breathing. This is how we begin, with a soft, slow, and low breath. So low meaning a belly breath. Sometimes you hear people say, take a deep breath. What we really mean is a low breath, without gasping, pushing, or pulling. It may be helpful to place your hands on your belly. As you inhale, feel the belly expand into your palms. As you exhale, you'll feel the belly soften, descending back inward and downward. Breathing in, there's expansion. You might take your hands to your rib cage, feel the rib cage expanding, and then exhale and let that go. Breathing in and out. Nasal breathing, unless of course you're stuffy. Perhaps take one hand to your back, keeping one hand on your belly. And as you breathe, notice if you feel the breath in the back of the body, supporting the lower spine. It's like an internal massage as we breathe in and out. So what makes yoga different is this focus on the breath, the movements, the postures. When they're coupled with the breath, then we can feel the sensation of mindful movement, mindful breathing. This is why yoga is called the mind, body, breath, or spirit connection. Now, as we continue our breathing, our focus on breathing, so notice if you need to take a break, take note. You take that break, return to your breath. The first priority is safety. You want to be safe in your yoga practice. No pain, all gain. Got that? No pain, all gain. If something doesn't feel right, stop it, return to your breath, and then decide. Take a pause. Should we re-enter the class, take a break, perhaps skip a pose? As long as you're breathing, you're doing yoga. So we're going to practice some movements from head to toe. And we're going to start with our face. So as we breathe in and out, we're going to move our eyes around the clock. Inhale, your eyes lift up like you're looking at 12 o'clock. Exhaling through the nose, look down like you're looking at 6 o'clock. Inhale, look back up. Exhale, looking back down. Return your gaze to center. I'll be mirroring you throughout our practice today. Just in case you're wondering, take your eyes towards your right, which would be 3 o'clock. Inhale, now take your eyes towards 9 o'clock. Inhale back to center. Back to 3. Return to 9. Back to 3. Return to center. Let's take our eyes around the clock. So starting with 12, 1, 2, make sure you're breathing, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And reverse it. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to 12. Return to center. Take a nice breath in and a breath out. Moving on, because we want to move all joints in the body. Start to rock forward and back. Notice your sit bones as you rock forward and back. You go forward on the sit bones and back on the sit bones. Notice how your belly may engage as you lean back. And let's take it side to side. So rock side to side so that you become aware of each sit bone and what it's like to just be on one, leaning to one side and then the other, and return to center. Let's make circles here as we start to move the spine. Really feel the sensation of moving. This can be small circles, or you can make them a little bit bigger. No need to go fast in yoga, and generally we're going slow. There are different types of yoga that move a little bit faster, but we're going to keep a nice pace matching our breath. And let's move the other way. Circling around and about. It should feel good. As you turn, notice the sensation in your feet. So as we go to one side, you might feel the sensation in your feet turning or moving towards that side. And then we go the other way, or front and back, and notice how the weight goes forward in the feet and back towards the heels. Return to center. Lift up tall through your spine. Circle your shoulders around and about. This is one of my favorites because it feels like a massage. And this is something you can do at any time. As you know, we often hold tension in our shoulders, in our jaw. So this is a really nice way to release. We just have to remember to do it. From here, press your palms into your thighs, draw your shoulders up and slightly back. No need to squeeze. Drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Now you might use your hand to gently guide the head towards the right. Take a breath in. You might drop the left arm by your side, feeling it gets a little bit heavy or weighty. On your next inhale, lift your head back up, and you can use your fingers to guide the head back up for support. Take a moment and a pause to notice, how does your neck feel on both sides? Exhaling, lowering the left ear towards the left shoulder. You may notice one side is tighter than the other. And this is something to just notice. Perhaps we slept in a certain way that caused tightness, or our bodies habitually move in patterns. Inhale, head rises back up and release. Now, pretend you have a pencil or a pen at the edge of your nose or a paintbrush, and you're going to draw a circle with it. This is a nice neck release. You can start by going clockwise and then reverse the circle. There we go. Take your thumbs in your palms, wrap your fingers around them. I call this like a yoga fist. Then circle the knuckles around and about. You might notice some tightness in the back of the hand. And that's probably from the way we drive, holding the steering wheel, brush our teeth, eat. So many patterns that we do throughout our day, typing at the computer, pressing on the phone. The hands are curving inward. So we need to reverse that out. This is more of a joint freeing exercise as we open up the wrists. We'll move right into finger push-ups. So you're going to take your fingers and press them in towards each other. Pinkies, rings, middle, pointer fingers, and thumbs. Gently press them in. Relax the elbows and the shoulders down. With your exhale, push the ridges in. I've heard these referred to as spider push-ups. Then, on your inhale, open it up like you're holding a sphere of energy or a ball. Exhale, press the ridges in. Inhale, open it up. Now notice if we lift the elbows out to the side, draw your shoulders on your back. Feel your strength, because you can feel your strength right here. As you press your right hand into your left and your left fingers into your right, notice. Make sure not to tighten that jaw. Take a breath in and a breath out. Exhale, slowly lower the back of your hands in your lap. We're going to move to what's called a pursed lip breath, and it's going to help move our face around too. So you're going to take a breath in like you're slurping in energy, and then exhale out through your nose. You're going to feel cool air as it comes into your mouth. Purse your lips. Exhale, let that go out through your nose. This can be a nice breath to do, more of a cooling breath on a hot day or when you're building up heat. Inhale, swirl the breath into your mouth with pursed lips like you're going to throw a kiss. And exhale and let that go. Moving on to cat-cow pose. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see me. And this is a pose that's so wonderful for our spine. We're going to exhale, take the chin to the chest. Your hands can be on your knees or your thighs. And as you take your chin towards your chest, you'll be leaning back a little bit. You might feel your weight go towards the back of your sitting bones. You'll feel space in between your shoulder blades. Then on your inhale, this is seated cow pose. We lift up, draw the shoulder blades together, heart rises. It's even helpful to push your palms down into your thighs. Make sure though that you're not kinking your neck back. So we don't want to drop it back like that. That doesn't feel good. The neck doesn't like that. We want to keep it nice and long. So exhale, round the spine, chin to chest, and here the belly, you'll notice it pulls in. Then as we inhale, we lift the center of our heart up towards the sky. You might feel a stretch in the belly. One more time, round the spine like a wave, leaning back. And inhale, lifting back upward. Moving towards a side bend. So, sitting tall, shoulders on the back. You might even pull your belly in and up, leaving one hand, perhaps your left hand on the chair as we lift the right arm upward. Now, your elbow may be bent. You're going to stretch to your range of motion at this time. We've just begun to warm up. On your next exhale, lengthening towards your left. You can use your hand on the side of the chair, or you may take your hand to your wrist or your forearm. Now, this is a wonderful pose that helps us to expand the sides of our body so that we can fully breathe. Breathe in, inhale. Exhale out through the nose. Inhale, rise back up. And exhale, flow both arms down by your side. Other side. Placing the right hand on the seat of the chair. Inhale, left arm lifts high. Now there's a tendency to lift the shoulder, so just notice and drop the left shoulder down. We push both sit bones into the chair as we exhale and side bend. Now our belly and our core is helping us, because if it wasn't helping us, we might fall over. So we might use our hand. We might pull our belly in and up as we lengthen towards the right. Again, you may use your left hand for a little extra stretch, not required, but a possibility. In yoga, we learn to open to possibilities because we never know what the next breath or moment is going to bring. Inhale, rise up, and exhale and flow your arms down by your side. Next pose, I'm going to move these out of the way for now and turn to my side so you can see me, but you don't need to turn. This is a side view for you. Holding on to the side of the chair, coming towards the edge of the chair. We don't want to feel like we're falling off. We want to feel stable and safe. Extend your right and left legs. Now this is a stretch. You may feel this in your legs, in the back of your legs especially. Push down through your heels and isometrically pull them towards you. You might feel a toning in your thighs or your hips, your buttocks. And then let that go. And then press down through the heels again. Now point your toes and notice how the sensation changes. Now you might feel a stretch in your ankles and the tops of your feet, or even along the front of the leg. Inhale, pull your toes towards you. You do not need to look at them. Spread them. push through the big toe mound like you're going to step on the gas and spread your pinkies wildly. Again, no peeking. Circle the ankles around and about as though you were painting with your toes. Breathe in and breathe out. And gently bring your legs back so your heels are underneath your knees. Moving towards a twist. We're going to inhale and lift our arms towards the sky. Relax the shoulders. On your next exhale, finding this twist by bringing your right arm outside your left thigh and your left hand behind you. Lift tall through the spine as though there's a string on the top of your head and it's gently pulling upward. Opening up the shoulder. Once you find your twist, take an inhale and feel space in the vertebrae. On the exhale, there's a softening and there's also an opening. So you may feel a broadening across the front of the body. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Returning to center. I'm now going to face you, but we will do a twist on the other side. So inhale, our arms rise up. Exhaling, bringing the left arm outside the right thigh and perhaps the right hand behind you. Now it's nice to have a little bit of leverage here so you can press your hand into your thigh and your thigh into your hand. And that gives you leverage but also a cue to lift up tall. You may bend your elbows out to the side as you turn. Now, neck turns last. We don't want to crank the neck in any way. Breathe in and out about 3 times or as long as you so desire. And inhale, return to center. Moving on to what some of you know is Warrior Two pose. And there's variations for this pose. This is also a place where you might want the second chair. So some people might feel like they need the second chair because they feel that they need a little bit more support, and that's awesome. So the chair would be in front of you. Now I'm going to move it to the side so that you can see me for Warrior Two, just knowing that you might have that second chair. So seated, we're going to open up the right knee out to the side and be right here. The heel is going to be underneath the knee and the kneecap is angling towards our middle toes. Now, a good way to know if that's really happening is if you can't really see your toes, then it's generally in pretty good alignment. Now, the front, or what we're going to call the back leg, the knee can either point forward, so we're making like a 90-degree angle here. If we're really tight in the inner thigh, this is where to be. If not, you can use your hands to help scoochie your back leg towards a straight leg. The toes can be forward. And you're going to make your adjustments. You might feel that you want to come towards more of the right side of the chair or left side of the chair or centered in the chair. What's most comfortable for you? Then we lift up so that our shoulders are stacking over our hips. Now this is a sideway pose, so we're facing long on our mat. This pose is often done both seated and standing. We gaze over our front shoulder, and on our inhale, we may float our arms up till they're about just shoulder height or maybe slightly higher. That helps to relax the shoulder blades on the back. Now you can always keep one arm down or both arms down. Press down your right sitting bone and hip into the chair as well as your feet. As they push down, you feel a lift on your inner body. We may lift the arms. A nice trick is to turn the palms upright. That helps to relax the shoulders as they externally rotate. Take a breath in. a breath out. Notice if your arms feel heavy and you'd like to release them. Then please do. Notice the sensation in your body. It's giving you messages all day. On the next exhale, lower your back arm down and your front arm upward. Now you may gaze up to your fingertips as long as that feels okay for your neck, or you might bend your elbow and place your hands behind the head. This is a little back bend. It has a little bit of a side bend in it. On our next inhale, we're going to push down through our feet. This is called root to rise, by the way, when we push down to rise back up. On our exhale, relax the arms down. From here, we're going to move to what we call side angle as we open up the shoulders a little bit more. You may place your forearm on the right thigh and take your back hand to your hip. Open up the shoulders so we draw them up and back. And we want to keep the head in line with the spine. Then we might draw circles with the left arm, just to help it find its range of motion. And then eventually you might take the arm up overhead or perhaps over your ear and add a diag towards your right. The pinky side is down, the thumb is up. That helps to keep the shoulder blade on the back. Now, all the while, try to make sure this bottom shoulder doesn't move forward. We want to pull it back. Reach long, and then we're going to do that root to rise again. Press down, rise up. That's a long time to have your feet together. Apart, actually. So coming with knees back about hip distance apart, feet hip distance apart. Let's take a break here to just notice how the body's feeling. On your inhale, lift your toes. Feel the sensation from the big toe mound across the pinkies. Spread them. Exhale, place the toes back down. Notice which toes go down first and then consecutively. Inhale, heels rise. Feel a lift through your arches and your ankles, like you were wearing high heels. And then exhale and let that go. Lower the heels down slowly. Moving towards warrior two on the left side. Again, you may open like so that we're making a 90-degree angle. We're going to place our knee about over the heel and kneecap over the middle toes, keeping the back leg either as it is or extending it long. You want to make sure there's no torquing in the knee. So if you're feeling torquing, either bend the knee a bit, bring it back in. No torquing in the knee. Knees don't like that. So no pain, all gain. Safety in yoga. That way we can practice it routinely and feel better for it. Shoulders over hips. We tend to lean one way or the other way, so we take a moment and just feel. Notice if you feel like there's any leaning. And then push down through your left foot. You can even use your hand on your thigh and push your hand into your thigh. Draw the shoulder up and back so it's not taking the stress. And on your next inhale, maybe you float your arms up as you gaze over your front shoulder. Perhaps you like the turning the palms upright. Take a breath in and a breath out. Anchor down. So really push the left hip into the chair. You can use your hands. Sometimes it's helpful to feel that tactile sensation of pressing the hip down. As that happens, you'll feel a little toning in your belly. Moving towards the reverse warrior, back arm is down, front arm may lift, perhaps bending the elbow, leaning back into your fingertips so that your neck and your head are supported. Breath is in. Breath is out through the nose. We're going to go back for root to rise. We're going to push down through our hips, down through our feet. Inhale, lift back up. moving towards what we call side angle. Forearm moves to the thigh. So we're going to push the thigh with our forearm. Draw our shoulders back. And then notice, sometimes the head dips down like this. So just notice if you feel that. And inhale and lift it up. Sometimes it's helpful to take your hand to the side of the head and give it a little bit of guidance, so that if you were to look down, you were gazing towards your belly. In fact, do that. Gaze into your belly. You're going to feel your spine as it pulls back, just like cat pose. And then inhale and open up the shoulders. Perhaps the back arm lifts towards the sky or circles around and about. See, there's no right way or wrong way. We're looking to warm up the body, to lengthen the body, to stretch the body, and to strengthen it. Perhaps you're going to lean, or I should say side bend towards now your left, lengthening along the whole side body. Pull the belly in and up so that we don't drop down. Lengthen. So imagine, you don't have to look at it, but imagine the side of your right foot, and then you're drawing a line up the seam of your pants, up through the side of your leg, through your waist, your side body, shoulder and arm. Press down, rise up. Let's bring our feet together underneath our hips and just notice, how are you feeling now? And circling around and about can be very helpful to loosen up any tension. Let's do a few tongue exercises. So the first one is going to be, because our tongue, we often ignore it, and the correct position for the tongue during breathing is actually towards the upper palate, the roof of the mouth. So here's the first exercise, is to take your tongue on the tip of it and push it into the back palate. And you might make that sound. Or you can press the tip and feel the pressure and release it. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathing in and out is our prana. It's our life force. It's our vital energy. You perhaps have heard that term, prana or chi. And so when we do this breathing, as we move, we are bringing in life force and vital energy to every cell in our body. Next tongue exercise. That was just a little infomercial. Take your tongue to the right upper side corner of your mouth and sweep it across your gums towards the left. And then left to right. Do that about 6 to 10 times. I know it looks funny, but I'm the one being recorded. When you're done, notice you might have produced some saliva. So swallow that. And we'll do the bottom. Also notice how your muscles feel in your tongue. We need to keep that tongue strong. So here we go. Bottom from right to left and left to right, about 6 to 10 times. Swishing. If your tongue gets tired, let it go. And back to breathing. In and out. Moving on to chair pose. Now this can be a pose, again, where you might want the second chair for support as we lift off. Now, you have options with chair pose. You can place the ball or a yoga block, or some people have been using toilet paper rolls, especially during COVID, so you might try that if you don't have a yoga block. Placing the block in between your thighs, there's this automatic magnetism, and the inner thighs hug into the block, the ball, or the toilet paper roll. If you don't have it, no worries. You can still do the pose. We start by rocking forward and back as we were doing before. And notice how the belly engages. Now your hands may be on the chair in front of you. We're going to lift off, but remember, you don't have to lift off. You may lift off a millimeter, a centimeter, an inch, or a few. The idea is this rocking motion of gauging our belly as we exhale to lift off. So here we go. Breath is in and out, and when you're ready, you may lift up. Hands can be on the chair, perhaps about shoulder height, hugging the block. Now exhale slowly. We're going to lower down nice and slow. No plop it down. So take your hands to the chair and slowly let it go down. Notice, so most people feel the sensation in their thighs in this pose. The weight is going towards the back of your feet if you're wondering. We'll go again. Take a breath in and a breath out. And if you're feeling fatigued, let the second round go. You can meet us for the third round. Rocking it forward and back. Breath is in. Breath is out. When you're ready, lift off. Lift off. Arms may be forward. You can pretend you're holding a stick. Make a fist with your hands. You'll feel your shoulder blades on your back. You might lean forward as you take your sit bones back, the crown of your head forward. Notice where the weight is in your feet. Lower down at any point. Maybe you take your hands back to feel the chair as you slowly lower back down. Awesome. Building some strength. Notice how your breath may have changed. Notice if perhaps you were holding your breath during the pose. That's really normal. Just know that it's normal. We're going to release the block and move towards a hip opener. Gentleman's pose, sometimes referred to as number 4 pose. So first, bring the knee up and towards your chest and lift tall. I like to push my hands into the shin and the shins into my hand. Then circle the knee around and about. Just loosen up the hip joint before we enter gentleman's pose. So there are different variations, of course. The first variation may be placing the foot near the ankle, and the ankle and the heel press in towards each other. That's one variation. You may take your hands to your hips and lean forward slightly, keeping the shoulders on the back. Notice the sensation. If you're feeling it in the inner thigh, this may be enough. Another option is to take 1 or 2 blocks and stack them for number 4, or gentleman's pose. So we bring the heel up, and this may be where you're at. Remember, we're going to do it both sides, and both sides may be different. The other option is to place this knee on a chair by your side. What we're looking for is we're going to feel a stretch, either outer hip or inner thigh. Now, the other variation is to bring the ankle over the thigh, and I like to rock right and left to find the center, placing one hand on the foot and one hand on the knee. Press down firmly through the bottom leg, the left foot. Then hinge from your hips as you lean forward. When you start to feel a stretch, stop. Take a breath. Maybe back off if the sensation is too much. Now we want to keep anchoring our hips down into the chair. You might use your hands to press them down. Take a breath in and a breath out. And as you breathe, keep your gaze forward and down. That's going to keep the back of the neck nice and long. You can stay here for 5, 10, 15 breaths. People love to open up their hips. We're going to press down through the bottom foot, rise up and release the leg for the other side. Now I am going to show the other option, which was to put the knee on the chair. And some people like this. So the outside leg, the leg we're going to bend now and bring up, we lift it up, pull the knee in towards your chest, maybe find some circles around and about, just loosening up the joint. This is part of our making sure that all our joints feel really nice and loose and lubricated. So the knee may go on the second chair, and some people even put a blanket on the chair to cushion the ankle. The other option is to place the ankle over the knee or to use the blocks on the other side. Now we're gently pressing our hand into the thigh as the leg opens and externally rotates. You might gently press your hand into your foot. Give it a little bit or even a little massage, rubbing the knuckles on the foot. The feet love it, stimulating the bottom of the foot. We're going to lean forward, keeping the neck long. When you feel sensation, remain there as long as it's not too intense. If it is, back off. Breathe in, breathe out, softening, lengthening. When you're ready, press down through the bottom foot, rise up and lower the foot back down. For our last pose, before our resting pose, we'll take the strap if you have one. If you don't, you can interlace your fingers underneath your thigh. This is to help stretch the back of the leg. So you can either interlace your fingers behind your right thigh, or you can place the tie around your foot towards the arch. The leg can be down as you pull your toes towards you and flex the foot, or you may lift it up so we can press down through the left foot. Now the leg can lift anywhere up to hip height. We take a few breaths in and out, and the knee may or may not straighten. We don't want to lock the knee. We're pushing the heel away as our spine is lengthened upwards. Now, while you're considering this, I'm going to show it to you with two chairs because that can be very helpful too. So, you may place one chair like this and another chair like this, or maybe an ottoman or a sofa to help lift the leg. And so you want to make sure it's the right distance. So now I'll show it with the left leg. You might place the tie still around the foot or not. You can also use your hands on the chair as you lean forward. So strap around foot, still pulling toes towards you, lifting tall. If you don't feel a stretch, you can lengthen forward, perhaps like this. So we're hinging from the hips. We could take our hands to our hips or our hands towards the chair. Relax the chin. Imagine the back of the neck nice and long. Breathe in and breathe out. You can stay as long as you want in these poses. You might feel the sensation all the way into the foot and behind the leg. And then slowly release. Now for the final pose, it's the relaxation pose. In fact, you might put both feet up on the chair. You might cover yourself with a blanket. Some people practice on the floor or in bed for the final pose. It is considered the most important pose and for some the hardest pose. You're giving yourself permission to relax and to absorb the practice. So you choose what position you'd like to relax, either feet up on an ottoman, another chair, be in bed. I'm going to return to our seated mountain pose from there to guide you through a little body scan of rest and relaxation and helping us to further tune into our mind-body breath connection. So once you find yourself comfortable, and I might add that you could place a yoga mat behind you for support. This is a nice place to be because it supports your posture as you lean back. That really feels nice. Feet are underneath knees, about hip distance apart. And we start by focusing on our feet. You may soften your eyes, meaning you might soften your gaze. You might take a half gaze where the eyes are about a half or 3/4 shut. Allow the breath to return to a natural, soft belly breath. In and out through the nose. Bring your mind's eye to your feet. Focus on your feet as you take a breath in. And on your exhale, relax any tension in your feet. Guide your focus to your ankles, your lower legs, your knees, and your thighs. Breathe here with your mind's eye on your legs. Soften as you inhale and bring energy into the legs, that prana life force. And exhale, let go any tension in the legs. Move your focus to your hips. Often they feel heavy as we relax. Breathing into the pelvic bowl. Belly soft. Moving the mind's eye to your internal organs. Your chest and your heart. An inflating of the belly, the torso, the chest on the inhales. And exhale, we soften back down. Relax any tension in the shoulders. Moving awareness to your upper arms, your elbows, lower arms, wrists, hands and fingers. Allow your arms and your hands to relax, letting go with each exhale. Moving your mind's eye to your neck and your head. Softening, perhaps feeling the back of the eyes, the eyelids touching, the air moving in and out through the nose. A little space in between your teeth for the upper and lower jaw. Tongue relaxing towards the upper palate. Even the insides of your ears are releasing tension. Bringing your mind's eye to your third eye, that space right in the middle of your forehead, above the eyebrows. Softening any tension in the forehead. Bring your mind's eye to your scalp. As you exhale, whole body relaxing from head to toe, from toe to head. Stay here as long as you wish. Give yourself permission to absorb this practice. Express gratitude to your mind and your body for this practice. At the end of our practice, it's customary to bring our palms together in gratitude. The thumbs may be towards your heart, the fingertips away. A symbol of the individual and the universal coming together. We bow with gratitude inward to this inward space. We bow with gratitude to all of the blessings in our life. We say namaste as we bow and honor each other. From my light to yours, namaste.